Hello everyone, how are you? I hope you all are doing just great out there. Let's start our today online lecture, which is about camera shots and camera angles. Because when you are making a news report, obviously you need to know how to operate camera, or you can actually direct your cameraman that you need to take these kind of shots during the report. So let's talk about shots and angles of a camera. So when we talk about shots and angle of the camera, so it is important to understand that there are some basic shots which you need to understand how to take them. So we divide camera into camera shots, camera angles, and camera movements, because there are some static shots as well and some moving shots as well. And you have to place your camera with a specific angle as well. So let's talk about camera shots. So this actually refers to the size of the subject in a frame, because when your camera opens, it has a specific frame. So in a frame, size of the subject is called shot, or the area that is covered by the person or the subject is called shot. Number one is extreme shot. Extreme shot or extreme wide shot, we call it establishing shot as well. As you can see, in extreme shot, you need to shoot the whole area. It's a wide shot. Basically, it establishes some kind of situation or area that you are in a certain area. So extreme long shot or ELS is used to portray a vast area and apparently long distance. And ELS is also used to impress the viewer with the immense scope of setting or the scene. If you are shooting a college, so you have to show college through ELS or extreme long shot or establishing shot. We call it establishing shot. Basically, you will establish some situation or some area. So basically, it helps audience to connect with the characters or the place emotionally. Long shot. As you can see in this shot, you are covering subject from top to bottom. That means you need to shoot your subject as a whole. So that is called long shot. And long shot shows the entire area where the action take place. The whole subject is in frame from head to toe. Medium shot. So this is the medium shot. In medium shot, the convention of this shot is when framing a person, approximately half of their body is in this shot, from waist to up their head. So it is more subtle performances and detailed actions can be seen. The medium shot is a good framing for the conversations. When two people are talking to each other, so you need to take medium shot of them. So especially when you are recording dialogues, you are recording interview between two people, so you need to shoot them in medium shot. So especially if hand movements are part of the performance, because when we usually talk, there are some physical gestures as well. We move our hands, so that's why you need to take medium shot. Medium long shot, or the MLS. The MLS can frame one or two people standing up, that is with their entire body, that is medium long shot. Close up. As it is evident from the name, close up means that you are shooting your subject from very close distance, all right? So the close up shot is basically, it shows a detail of the overall subject or action. The head or hands, if it is a person. Close-ups of characters are a good way of engaging the audience into character emotionally. As we get closer to the character, we begin to lose the background information, therefore emphasizing the subject rather than the background. So that means when you want to connect your audience with your subject emotionally, if there are certain emotions on the face of your uh, character or your interviewee, you need to go closer. If he is crying or he's happy or he's saying something serious, what you need to do, you need to have a close-up. So close-up are very important, but uh, do not use close-ups so frequently, because using close-ups frequently doesn't look nice. Extreme close-up. Again, extreme close-ups are really good to show emotions from someone's face. With extreme close-ups or the ECUs, a small detail of the subject is framed, such as part of human face or a hand or a foot. This unnatural closeness to the subject is good at beginning the viewers into intimate relationship with the subjects. When you want to connect your viewer on an intimate relationship with your subject, you need to have uh, extreme or ECU shot. So sometimes it is called tight close-up as well. Tight mean you are going very near to your subject. Eye level shot. So eye level shots are basically the impression. An impression is natural in eye level shots. So you usually place your camera at the eye level. Sometimes you actually cut the head half, and sometimes you cut the chin as well of your subject. So that is called placing the camera on the eye level. That means your subject is looking directly into the camera. Reverse angle shots. So usually the camera looks at the subjects, but occasionally the camera shows what the subject is seeing. This is also called a point of view shot. It is often used when there are two characters. We cut back and forth between two characters when they are talking, and we use these point of view shots. How does that look, point of view shot? Just like that. This is called the point of view shot. If you can see right here, uh, there are two people who are sitting on a table. So we are shooting them independently. So you can see in this shot, there is a reference of this cartoonic character's nose in this shot. Right here, if you can see, right here, it's a reference right here. Similarly, in other shot, when that cartoonic character is looking toward this girl, there is a reference of the arm in his shot. So in that way, we can create point of view shots. So that means this character is looking on this cartoonic character, and this cartoonic character is looking towards this girl. But in both shots, we have some kind of reference. All right. So this is called the reverse shot or the reference shot. Let's talk about some camera movement. These were some basic shots. Let's talk about camera movements. Pan. So pan is basically to pivot the camera horizontally, moving the lens to the left or to the right hand side. Unlike the trucking the shot, camera does not move from this position on the tripod. For instance, if you have put your camera on the tripod and you only move camera from right hand side or the left hand side. So this is called the panning shot. The panning shot is basically used to cover more detail on a shot. Just like that. So if camera goes from, camera is static at a movement. So if it goes on the left hand side, just like that moves, it is called pan left. And if it moves on the right hand side, it calls pan right. So camera will not move, only lens will move. All right, camera and the tripod will stay at the same place. Tilting the camera. So in a similar way, when you move your lens upward and downward, that is called tilting up and tilting down. So to pivot the camera vertically, moving up the lens and moving down, that is called tilting up and tilting down, while camera does not move from its position on the tripod. It's just like that. So if you move camera on, putting it on a tripod, moving down, it is called tilt down. If you will move it upward, that is called tilt up. Dolly or truck. Dolly is to move the camera and it's dolly towards the subject. It is called dolly in, or away from the subject, it is called dolly out. Truck is to move the camera and it's dolly to the left or the right hand side. Not the camera and the tripod is being moved in this kind of movement. Just like that. So the whole thing which is in red, this will move left. All right, that is called truck left. If it is moved right, that is called truck right. If it moves towards the talent, that is called dolly in. And if it moves out, that is called dolly out. So camera is not static here, camera is moving. Basically, you put your camera on a track, just like railways track. There is a track, there is a platform as well with some wheels. You put your camera on that platform and move that camera on that track. Just like that. This is camera on dolly. So when camera is moving this in this motion on this track, that is calling tracking right, and if it is moving the opposite direction, that is tracking left, and if it is moving towards the subject, that is called dolly in. If it is moving away from the subject, that is called dolly out. Again, you can use a car as well for the tracking, truck or the crane shot. So we call it crane shot as well. So you put a crane on your SUV or even on a truck, or even without truck, you can use your crane. So that is called the crane shot. That's basically, it's a moving shot as well. Some basic angles: high angle, when you place your camera above the subject, looking down on the subjects, that makes the subject seem smaller. That is called high angle. When you put your camera on the top, so that is called high angle. And when you put your cameras somewhere beneath your subject, when camera is positioned to look up to the subject, making subject seem larger or more authoritative, that is called the low angle. So if you want to show your subject very strong or very authoritative, you need to place camera in a low angle. If you want to show your subject smaller, you need to put your camera at a high angle. So there are some shots. Let's name the shot. There are two people in this shot. They are fully exposed in this camera. What is this shot? You need to name it. Again, this is a very close shot. What type of shot this is? You have to name it. We have talked about them. Again, this is a shot. Half of the subject is exposed in this shot. What type of shot this is? You need to name it. Again, here, somewhere a little bit chin is cut, half of the head, almost some part of the head is cut. What type of shot this is? Because camera is placed at the eye level. If you remember, we talked about something of eye levels. Again, this is a shot. What type of shot this is? Because almost half of the subject is. This is a shot where something is being established. What type of shot this is? Again, camera is placed somewhere at the low. You need to understand what type of angle this is. This is a low angle, let me tell you. Again, half of the subject is exposed in this camera. So name this shot as well. What is happening in this shot? There is a camera on a truck or on a dolly. So what they are doing? Again, this is the angle. Again, new angle. There is a small subject, this cat probably, and camera is placed at the top. What type of shot this is? So these are some shots. I briefly talked about them. Let's talk about, I'll show you a video as well. So let's see this video. It is going to help you to understand shots in a different way.
And motion attributes, and each of those has 5 shots. At the end of this video, I'll provide a chart that will make your life easier when you're trying to put together a shot, and I'll show you how. Let's begin with shot sizes. Probably the most important shot size ever is the close-up. You use a close-up when you want to fill the frame with a face. You might want to do that because you want to draw attention to the expression on the face. So facial features are more important than anything else at that moment. A variation of the close-up is the extreme close-up, where you probably chop off the top or bottom of the face to get even closer. In the other extreme, you have the long shot. The long shot shows the entire body of the subject, and you also get a sense of the location. Another reason why you might want to use a long shot is if you want to cover action. If somebody's running or fighting, you might want to see the entire body in motion. At the extreme, you have an extreme long shot in which the subject is even smaller relative to the frame. You might want to use that to make the subject look small in relation to their surroundings. In between these two shots, you have the medium shot, which is roughly half of a person. You use this shot when the person is either holding something or using something, or if body language is still important but the person doesn't have to be mobile. Another way to distinguish between shot sizes is by the number of people in the shot. If you have one person, you can call it a single shot or a solo shot. If you have two, you call it a two shot. Three would be a three shot, and so on. The last is a point of view shot, where the camera points to whatever the character is looking at, so you want the audience to feel as if they were that person. So I've clubbed these 5 shots under shot size, but you can combine them. You can combine a 2 shot with a close-up or a medium shot, and so on. The next important category is the camera angle. The most basic and simple camera angle is eye level, where the camera points straight ahead, and you typically use this to remain objective. You're not trying to manipulate the situation. When you want to manipulate the situation using camera angles, you can either go to a low angle, where the camera points up from a lower angle, and you use that to make the subject appear bigger or more dominating. On the other hand, you use a higher angle, where the camera points down from a high angle, and it makes the subject look diminutive and weak. Now, this is not etched in stone. You can break the rules here. An extreme case of the high angle will be a top angle or bird's eye view. So this is a special case where you want to show the topography of a location. Aerial shots are an extreme example of this as well. Next up, you have the Dutch angle or tilted shot, where your camera is not really level. An important use of this kind of shot is to draw attention to the fact that it's not a balanced frame, so something is literally off kilter. The last of the camera angles is the over-the-shoulder shot. Now, this is not strictly an angle, but it's a specialized shot that deserves its own place. Typically, an over-the-shoulder shot is confrontational by nature, so you have one person facing off with the other person. The last category is motion. The simplest type of motion is if you pan or tilt. That's when the camera stays in one place and it goes left or right, as if you're observing a tennis match. The importance of this is the audience should feel like they are a spectator watching something objectively from a distance. If you want to move with the subject, you can either use a tracking shot, a crane, or a dolly. A tracking shot moves sideways, either left or right. A dolly moves front or back. And a crane goes up or down. They're all variations of the same kind of motion. They can be linear or they can be slightly curved. But the basic idea is you want to follow the action or follow the subject, and you want the audience to be more involved with the space and location. A variation of the dolly shot, where you want to move in or move out, but you don't want to enter or leave the space, you use a zoom lens. Here you just want to get closer without making an emotional statement. The next type of motion is random motion, where the camera just shakes around a certain point in a random manner. This is typically used to provide motion or energy to a shot to make it come alive. Some people find it distracting, some people find it energetic. The key thing to understand is all these rules can be broken. You can use motion in any way you want, as long as the final objective is met, because ultimately a film is a combination of many edited shots. These are just basic guidelines for the beginner, so they won't feel lost. The last kind of motion is slightly specialized. It's a 360-degree shot, where you want to showcase the subject, where the camera moves around the subject. The cool thing about motion is you have 3 dimensions to move the camera in, so you can compound motion. For example, you can add a dolly and a zoom to create a dolly zoom, which is a very popular shot. You can combine a crane with a 360-degree shot. And finally, you can combine camera angles, shot sizes, and motion in many ways to create a single take shot. Single take shots are the most complicated shots possible. They're a combination of many kinds of shots in one choreographed movement. So the actors have to move, the camera has to move. It's sort of like a dance, and it takes a lot of time and practice to pull off perfectly. So that's it for the basic camera shot sizes and angles. Here's a simple chart that I've created that will help you prepare your shots. You can find a full high-quality version of this on Patreon. All you have to do is move from left to right.
Okay. Okay. I guess that's it for today. And in next lecture, we'll meet again. Till then, take care of yourself. Bye-bye. Have fun.